What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about if Spider-Man 2 will be the PS5's most important game, or at least, when we're talking about games that are going to get announced for, games that are going to come out for relatively early, is this the most important game for the PS5? I think it is, and I'm going to explain why in this video. Really quickly, though, before I jump in, I want to promote my second channel really fast. The link for it will be in the description below. If you guys want to check that out, subscribe there. It would mean a lot to me. It basically doubles up on a lot of the content that I cover on this channel. Again, would mean a lot to me if you guys would subscribe there. And now on to this video. So in order to understand why Spider-Man 2 is going to be big, I think we have to look at Spider-Man 1 and really the heights that game achieved. Okay, that game was a massive game, not just at launch, and because remember, this game sold PlayStations, and this game, for some reason, sold PlayStations all the way in the fall of 2018, when, yeah, I mean, obviously the PlayStation fan base and the user base has gone up every single year, right? More and more people have been getting, or I guess more people have them in their homes as the years have progressed, but a lot of people had already had the PS4 back when Spider-Man came out, and this game, again, not just sold millions, tens of millions, really, because it's obviously reached over 10 million copies sold, but also sold PlayStation 4s. When you look at the PS5 and all the games they can announce, they have a long list. There's a long list of games that we already know that, I guess are already kind of like pre-existing franchises. And then there's obviously games that we don't know. We can maybe predict some. We can know some studios that are obviously working on new games. We don't know what those new games are. I think out of all of them, and you could make the argument for God of War 2. I think God of War 2 is a very important game to PlayStation. And again, I mean, it's not necessarily who's more important, which franchise, which character is more. I mean, there's Kratos, there's the Uncharted franchise in general, right? There's the Last of Us franchise. There's a lot of different franchises, but basically what we have are kind of handful of games that we think could be coming out in the in the relatively close future for the PS5. I think Spider-Man 2 is easily the most. I think it has the most potential. I think it's got the one that Sony really wants to push the hardest, right? Because again, people bought the PS4 for Spider-Man. People are going to buy that PS5 for Spider-Man 2. It's going to be interesting because it's not going to be the first one, right? We're going to have Horizon. I fully expect Horizon 2 comes out before Spider-Man 2. There'll be other ones. There'll be, I'm sure, a bunch of surprise games, maybe the Silent Hill PS5 game. Like, there'll be some PS5 exclusives before Spider-Man, but I think when you look at what PlayStation's even done, and look at even their strategy, remember back months ago when they were showing, like, the power of the PS5 in, like, small, like, grouping, like, conventions when they would go to them, and they said, hey, here's how fast, like, it can load games. What's the game they used? Was Spider-Man, okay? Now, there's a lot of games that have loading inside their game. They could have picked any game, but they chose Spider-Man. Spider-Man, as you can tell from what Sony has just done with it in the past, over the past couple of years, has been such an important franchise that I think always had the potential to be incredible. I don't really think even they expected it to be or to do as well as it has. I really don't, because this game, I think, has surpassed every expectation that I've ever had on it, and also I would hope and I would think Sony as well. So again, when you look at the games for the PS5, I think Spider-Man, although a year out, although I think Spider-Man 2 is the fall, and again, I think that's by design. I think that, I mean, I guess, possibly and kind of by design, also basically because, again, Spider-Man 1, just because of when that game came out, fall of 2018, give them 3 years. Could have gone longer. It could actually still go on a little bit longer. Could still come out maybe in, like, the spring of 2022 instead of the fall of 2021. But I think it's designed in a way right now where it's going to be that first full year. Okay, the PS5 is out for a full year, and now you get into now you've been into next gen for a full year, and now you're in that fall, and you're into that Black Friday period time, and it's the first full year the PS5 has been out, and you need you need a system seller. You need a system seller game, and that is going to be Spider-Man 2. So I think it's got loads of potential. I really am. I'm so excited for this game. Recently over, I think like January, February, I went back, I replayed. I actually never beat the first Spider-Man. I got like halfway through. I started it, from the beginning again, 100%. It got the platinum. A lot of people have actually. That platinum is one of the easier platinums you can get on Sony exclusives, but it is such an amazing game. It's so popular among so many different people. You look at Spider-Man now, like if they made like an All-Stars Battle Royale 2, like that, he needs to be, in that, obviously. So I think a lot of people are expecting this. In fact, I even did a poll a little while ago, and I said, like, which PS5 like launch game would you like? Do you think, actually, which game do you think will be a launch game? I didn't even put Spider-Man on there, and people were leaving comments for for Spider-Man. I hope they're not going to get disappointed when we all know, because I think we all kind of know already, Spider-Man's not going to be a PS5 launch day title. Okay, you're not going to get Spider-Man right away with the PS5. But so hopefully those people aren't disappointed. But you can tell, you can kind of read the room online, right? That a lot of people, if you ask them, what is the game that you're probably most excited to play eventually on the PS5, I think Spider-Man 2 would probably be at the top of the list. I think God of War 2 is probably the only one that can compete. Now, again, you do kind of run out of games eventually because we don't know Uncharted 5. Like, we don't know if that's happening. We also don't know if it would have Nathan Drake. In fact, I don't think it would, at least not star him. So, like, you have a lot of other franchises that can't exactly compete because they may not even be being made. They may also be just coming out. Like, obviously, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Like, Last of Us 3 isn't coming out for years and years. In fact, the next Naughty Dog game won't even come out for like 2, 3, 4 years. So, a lot of games obviously kind of lose that fight by default, right? Which game would be the most important to the PS5? A lot of games actually, because they don't exist or because we don't know about them, do lose that fight by default. But Spider-Man, I think, easily takes the cake. So, again, I'm very excited for Spider-Man. I think this is going to be a game that, especially when we get to the PS5 announcement. Now, I'm recording this video on Friday. You guys are seeing it obviously on Monday. As of right now, they have not yet given a date for it. I know a lot of people are throwing around June 12th. That's this Friday. I mean, if they announced it today, this morning, that would have made a lot of sense. So if it does happen this Friday, the PS5 reveal event, I think Spider-Man is absolutely a game that you push on people very, very heavily in that reveal event. I think a teaser for a God of War 2 makes a lot of sense. I think you probably show Horizon 2 quite a bit. Eventually, maybe not even at the reveal event, but over the next couple months, I think Horizon 2 is a game that you really show people because that game is just the closest game. That game is going to be a really big PS5 game, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be really, really good. So you're going to want to push that game. Again, being the first really big PS5 exclusive, that's going to be one. But besides that, if you look, towards the Silent Hill again, there's other games. I'm sure there's some surprise games if there's a Killzone game out there. But also, again, looking past that, Spider-Man 2 is definitely one that you want to get in people's heads as early and as quickly as you can. Everybody knows that, right? They're making a second one. The leaks for this game, there's been a lot of leaks of what could possibly be in this game. We'll have to see if they end up being true, but you really got to push a Spider-Man 2, and I think that's what Sony's going to do over the next couple months. So, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think Spider-Man 2 is the most important game to the PS5? Not even just, right now at launch, years down from launch. Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And, when we get an announcement of Spider-Man 2, I'll absolutely be covering it on this channel, as well as the second channel. We'll have different videos there as well. So, again, make sure you guys check that out in the description below. But loads of videos Spider-Man related going forward on this channel, on that channel. Thank you again so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.